What's up, guys? Ryan at Kibbetech. Another new episode here. We're going to show you the gray truck, the infamous gray truck. I'm sure you've seen this all before. I've had this truck quite a few different events and jumped this thing pretty big and done a lot of cool stuff with it. This truck basically had our first swing set, our first short course link setup, our fuel cell cradle that we designed and built. This truck had a lot of first ideas and not first ideas that were ever done, but the first of our products that we tested on this truck. And as you can see, it's a little different now. It's basically nothing except the cab left of what it was before. Took this thing apart, cut everything, cut the back half off to back half it, gutted the inside to cage it. We were gonna leave the front end on it and just tie the cage into the front end, but it's getting our center mount bulkhead now. And the back half, it's got our frame rail kicks with the integrated link pivots. It's got our billet trailing arms. It's got Tube Works trophy trucker in. Got our radius fuel cell and fuel cell tubes. All this stuff right here is all hand-built shock mounts. Big radiator with the built-in trans cooler. Again, our fuel cell, this is another one of our packages we sell. Like, you know, we've shipped a couple of them out, like Darren Parsons run the same one. So all these tubes right here are all laser cut. And we designed this fuel cell and sent it to Pyrotech, and they built it for us. It's got dual intake pumps and dual Holley hydromats, all the good stuff. We got the cab cage all done. The front end's not done. That's the bulkhead that we showed you. It's getting one of those. And then transmissions get something a little different. It's getting an Albin's ST6 sequential 6-speed trans. So that's a little different than like a Turbo 400, what we usually run. So that's pretty cool. A little price difference there, you know, like 30 grand to run that trans. But it'll be cool just be able to just bang gears. It's also getting a twin turbo LS7 with a RHS block and a bunch of cool stuff. So it's gonna be a lot different than what it used to be. Yeah, super excited to get this one going. It's getting all big King shocks like they all do, all big black and gold shocks. We'll have our center mount, like I said, with our swing set, all that stuff. It'll have a big intercooler mounted up front. And yeah, it'll be a 4-seater. It'll be sealed cab, windows, all that stuff. It's just a really cool, kind of over-the-top steel cab pre-runner.
I can't wait.
Yeah, so up front, you notice this big void here. It's obviously where the bulkhead's gonna tie in. We're doing some boxed pieces off the bulkhead that'll tie into the chassis. We'll end up cutting the chassis, tapering it down to the height of the bulkhead to tie that in all nice. We already started cutting some more out of there because the trans and everything, the motor's probably 12 inches further back than factory. So that's why also we cut the dash bar and the old window A out and then did this one that comes backwards. So basically there'll be 2 tubes right here that'll come out to the front end, and that's basically, this will bolt in and out. You pull the window and then you'll be able to drop the motor in. So pretty much there's no real other way to do it besides getting this back further, because the tube used to be up here, but obviously that would be right above, almost centered on the intake manifold. So that just wouldn't work to be able to tie the rest of the chassis into it. That's why this tube's just a little bit further back. So what we did, we pulled the dimensions of our tube chassis truck from the A-pillar front section to here and just matched this tube to our drawing of our tube chassis and then just mimicked it the same. And then our mid plate, we're designing our own mid plate. These tubes will come straight down. I'll have a mid plate for the trans and motor. We'll also be running ID Design's front plate. So yeah, motor, trans, all solid mounted. And then we'll tie all this back into the chassis once the bulkhead's all in there. But basically this whole thing was done 100% with the old front end, which is now on the chrome truck. So basically that whole front chassis and engine cage that was on this truck is on the chrome truck. That's why the chrome truck is pretty much the chrome version of the old gray truck. So we're able to utilize all that stuff, which was nice, save a lot of time and work. But excited to get this one all tied into that bulkhead. Why aren't you in the big bed? Why aren't you over there? Small update on the Baja Bug platform we're working on. Got a bunch welded. Evan got a bunch welded. Some gussets here. Got a bunch of the stringer tubes in, little X right here. Just kind of finalizing that, and then we're gonna put that cab on it, build the main section of the cab cage, and then this thing's off to the owner, and he's gonna wrap it up from there. Here we got Baja Bug number 2 and number 3 right here. We got the cab off of this one to put on this one so we can build all the roof section of the cage. We got the back wall already started. So we got this section in here, it's just a mitered section. We'll do bend the A-pillars next, then connect the back wall to the A-pillar, then finish out the back wall, a couple roof tubes with some bends, a center bar, and then this one is getting picked up just like that, and then the customer is gonna finish the rest himself. All right, so here we have our completed to this stage A-arm Baja Bug platform. See, I got all the A-arms and spindles laid out, all the parts and spacers set with it, so the customer can set that in. I don't know if he's gonna paint everything or powder coat it first, so he can set all that stuff. He contacted us, he wanted the floor, the platform with the rear arms, and then he saw the other one that we were building, and we did the front shock mounts and the front part of the cage. That's where we were at on that one. And he saw that and he wanted it. So we built that one, built his just basically to that point of the other one. And then he's gonna come pick it up like this and finish it from here on out on his own. All right, so we'll start here with the front suspension. Here we have the uprights, which is it's our plates here on a Pro-Am, I think it's a 10 1/4, 14 degree upright that they sell. So this clevis right here, the snout, backing plate, and this pin and this bolt misalignment kit is all from Pro-Am. We get that from Roy, and then we do our own steering arms and plates on it. So it's a good solid way to build a spindle. Runs a 2.0 Pro-Am hub setup. And then the upper arms are just simple tube upper arms. And then lowers are 100 thou 4130. So they're a little less than 1/8 inch. For a light car like this, it's more than enough, especially with all the overlays and all the ribbing and stuff like that we got going on. With all the bushings and misalignment and bearing kits for the front and rear. This will take a Pro-Am 2.5 inch rack. I think like a 4.5 inch travel, I think is what it runs. So basically from here down is all laser cut, and then everything up above, you know, what we told you, built by hand. Coming around, we did a little different shock mount. We built this shock mount on the table. I think I explained that before. So we started out with this shock mount, placed everything, and then just started diving all the tubes to that. So it was like a nice sub-assembly of a shock mount, and then this tube from here across is mitered at this corner. So basically we start with this square right there and then start tying all the tubes to that. And then the same thing in the back here. This is a mitered square. So we start with that and then we land all the tubes to that. So basically a bunch of sub-assemblies just to make the overall building process a little easier. And on back to this torsion tube. It's 1 3/4 250 wall. So this rear tube gets a lot of abuse. It's got the trailing arm tabs that'll come off of it once the back of the car's done. So yeah, this tube, if you do it any thinner, those tabs tend to just rip that tube off. So we always do it at a 250 wall. And then here's the rear arms. Pretty beefy, a lot of overlays, a lot of gussets on them. The hubs run like another Pro-Am hub, and that's where it gets kind of deep on the pocketbook when you get those rear Pro-Am hubs. But there's no other way to do it right to keep the wheel travel and have something strong enough to hang with the horsepower. So anything V8, you know, LS is what this thing's gonna get. You need a good set of rear hubs to keep that stuff from just blowing up and grenading on you. So altogether, pretty strong, solid platform. It's a 110-inch wheelbase and 86-inch track width, give or take, depending on your wheel offset. But it's gonna be a super fun car. It's nice and nimble, and it'll be a lot of fun. I'm excited to see the customer wrap it up. We're gonna go to Barstow and get all these clean trucks dirty.